Starting your career in the Agile world and pondering about certifications, feeling lost amid myriad of choices? Fear not, for I have a guide just for you. Let me regale you with my Scrum Master journey, detailing my certifications and exploring alternative paths. And don't hesitate to challenge my views. Consider this an enlightening discourse with which you can fully disagree. Let's go! Hi, I'm Maria and this is the Agile State of Mind. Welcome! Let's start with the Scrum Guide jungle. When I started as a Scrum Master, I have to confess I haven't read the full Scrum Guide. It's not that I'm adverse to a good read, but let's face it, the Scrum Guide isn't exactly a page-turner. Yes, I know it's not of the size of a Tolkien novel, but neither does it provide an engaging story, right? For a newcomer to the Agile world, it can feel quite dense and hard to decipher in its labyrinth of jargon. I was more following what other Scrum Masters did rather than what the Scrum Guide said. After all, who reads the written instructions if you have a bunch of veterans to show you the ropes, right? Well, here's how it worked out for me to follow other people instead of reading the instructions. In my first job as a Scrum Master, I remember joining a daily Scrum of a newly formed task force, created for a specific purpose, something very operational, important, and old school. And I remember that the task force was made up of some very important senior developers from different teams, and they got a seasoned Scrum Master to help them. During the daily Scrum, she acted as a post-it manager. She wrote the sticky notes based on what the team was saying and was putting them on the wall. It wasn't a Kanban board of any sort, it was just a wall in the middle of an open space. My understanding of the Scrum Master role for a daily Scrum was first, make sure that people attended, and second, manage the post-its. Then one day the lady got sick and I was meant to call the daily Scrum. And another Scrum Master came to observe. I was a newbie after all. And after the meeting, he called me for a chat. Thanks to his patient guidance and his powerful questions, I learned that my role was more than just managing the post-its. I was meant to foster collaboration and help establish good practices. Because as it was now, people knew they need to show up to the meeting, but neither them nor I understood the goal of it. Thanks to Victor Fairen's mentorship, I found my footing in the world of Scrum Mastery, forever grateful for his guidance. First tip, get a mentor. Get a mentor who challenges and guides you, like Victor did for me. Victor himself also had a mentor. He learned from Jerónimo Palacios, a Scrum.org trainer. And my Agile certification journey began with Jerónimo Palacios, professional Scrum Master. Trust me, it's a game changer. Now that I shared my stories and cautioned you against blindly following other Scrum Masters, let's dive into the certifications. Can you be a top-notch Scrum Master without any formal training? Absolutely. It's all about your character and determination. Yet for me, undergoing a formal 2-day training felt like a career leap. It's incredible how many misconceptions of Scrum I had absorbed in my first year of hands-on work. That's why I swear by the 2-day training. It lays down the Scrum foundation and reveals the why behind it all. And to pass the PSM exam, you will have to read the Scrum Guide many times like I did and finally get the hang of it. All in all, consider the Professional Scrum Master 1 from Scrum.org, or as an alternative, there is the Certified Scrum Master from Agile Alliance. Both are endorsed by Scrum founding figures. My take? Scrum.org certifications are tougher. They are more demanding. Thus, you will need to try harder. And now let's move on to the user-centric world with the user stories and such. In the end, mastering Agile isn't only about knowing Scrum, right? There are many other frameworks and practices like extreme programming, the user stories come from there, the DevOps, Kanban, and many other. And as Agile practitioners, we should be able to distinguish and navigate through different ones. And that's why I decided to craft some custom courses for Agile practitioners like Scrum Masters, Agile coaches, product managers, and Agile leaders. Because in the end, it's very hard to navigate that labyrinth of practices and tools. Dive into buymeacoffee.com/Agile State of Mind, where I help you navigate the world of Agile skills. Count on mid-May for some updates there. So from all this realm of extreme programming and such, let's first focus on user stories, because that's what you will use daily. Sign up for Mike Cohn's newsletter in his page Mountain Goat Software to explore user stories. Don't miss his webinar on splitting user stories. It's a game changer as well. Then dive into Jeff Patton's user story mapping, and this will help to take your facilitation skills up a notch. Trust me, it saved my teams countless times, especially when something new came up on our backlog and we had no idea where to even start. User story mapping is a way to map all that you need to do for a given product in a form of user stories. And then you decide what can be done for an MVP, minimum viable product, and the next sprints. It really helps to get you started where you have no idea what to do. And now for something completely different, or not so much, Kanban, baby. Kanban is a strategy to optimize your workflow. If you are a Scrum Master or an Agile coach, you will be expected to help the teams also if they go Kanban. And especially because it's so wildly misunderstood. You can get away without knowing some XP practices or DevOps, because usually some developers know them and they can help upskill each other. Kanban is usually very misunderstood. One of the misconceptions is as well that it's not a Scrum versus Kanban. Kanban goes really well with Scrum. And I'm not saying that just because I recently became the professional Kanban trainer, and you can learn some Kanban basics with me on the APK Kanban course. I'm saying this because let's take one of my most watched videos far away before I even thought about becoming a trainer. It's the Walk the Board video, and it's all about infusing some Kanban philosophy into Scrum, particularly during the daily Scrum. So what is there in Kanban that one should learn? Through simulations and flow metrics, you learn to manage your workflow as a pro, applying work in progress limits and actively managing your tasks in progress. This is something that's pretty overlooked in Scrum, and you can see the cues in different columns on the board where we get many bottlenecks. So Kanban will help you remove that waste of time and energy. Plus, no more magical thinking required for estimating, as Johanna Rothman would say. When it comes to Kanban training, you have also various options. ProKanban.org or Kanban University. I opted for ProKanban.org due to its simplicity and effectiveness. I used to struggle a lot with Kanban and how to structure the knowledge I had about it in my head, and that's why you can see that even in my channel, I started with Scrum. Kanban came a little while later, and it was partially thanks to Daniel Vacanti and his two guides that he wrote about Kanban, the Kanban guide for Scrum teams and the Kanban guide. He really helped me structure the knowledge about Kanban, and through this training you can put that knowledge into practice. We do a lot of simulations and games through which you see how that really works in practice when you implement the WIP limit or start using the flow metrics. And you'll see firsthand how flow optimization practices can defy the chaos of software development and improve productivity across different industries. To ensure you don't mistake me for totally biased, I still recommend reading Essential Kanban Condensed by David J. Anderson. I really enjoy the Kanban philosophy as laid out in that small book. It's packed with wisdom, including my favorite Kanban quotes like "Stop starting, start finishing," or "Manage the work and let people self-organize around it. And last but not least, the learning journeys. It's something new. I don't think it has been in market for a long time, or maybe it has. It's just something wonderful. It's like a wonderful experience of learning. I could compare it to the Camino of Santiago for agile learning. You know the Camino de Santiago in Spain? It's also referred to as the Way of St. James in English. It has been one of the most important Christian pilgrimages since the Middle Ages. It's a network of pilgrimage routes that all lead to the shrine of the Apostle St. James the Great in Santiago de Compostela, Galicia, northwest Spain. To get there, you have those different routes, and you can start in France or in Spanish Pyrenees or in different parts of Spain and even in Portugal. Agile cohorts have some similarities to that Camino, but with fewer blisters, obviously, and more epiphanies. What are the learning cohorts? Learning cohorts offer collaborative learning experiences with guidance over weeks or even months. While a 2-day training can help you get the basis, the learning path can help you bridge the gap between the knowledge you gained and the hands-on practice without learning the anti-patterns. Imagine embarking on a journey, your destination becoming a versatile agile coach. Just like in the Camino of Santiago, there is not just one path in the journey, because there is no one-size-fits-all on the route to mastery. There are multiple ways to get to the destination, and one can start at different stages depending on your experience. Each cohort member crafts their own unique path, so you're basically the master of your own destiny. Isn't that amazing? My personal favorite is The Road to Mastery by Stuart Nyland. You can watch our conversation about it here, and you can find others too. I think it's such a great way to learn what is needed for the role and secure your spot in the industry. And that's all for today. This video wasn't your typical certification spiel, was it? It may not also be the most objective one. But then again, can we ever truly achieve objectivity when our experiences shape our perspective? Opinions matter too. My hope is that this video serves as a compass to guide you towards the best fit certification for you. Swing by my page sometime. I'd love to help you navigate the agile chaos firsthand. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.